Hi everyone, Abby here, and welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing the new Garmin Forerunner 165. Now I've had this for 30 days and I'm going to share my full experience with you. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed so you can stay tuned to all my new videos dropping weekly and so you can help the channel grow. Now I do have this smartwatch in the color Berry Lilac, but it did come out in some other colors as well, which you could see on screen. And I do have the music edition here. This does come in a music and non-music version. The main difference there being on the music version, you can download music directly onto your smartwatch here and listen to it phone free using Bluetooth headphones. So the music edition of the Forerunner 165 I have here currently goes for $399.99 Canadian and $299.99 American. And the non-music version goes for $339.99 Canadian and $249.99 American. So you're going to be saving a bit of money there, but if you're someone who you want to have the ability to listen to music on the go, I definitely think it's worth it spending the extra money getting the music version. So now I'm going to go into the major spec highlights about this smartwatch so you can get an idea about what it can do. The Forerunner 165 here has a 1.2-inch AMOLED color display, a 20mm quick release watch band, a quoted battery life up to 11 days as a smartwatch. This can track a variety of your daily metrics like your calories burned, your active minutes, your steps, it can track your heart rate. It also has hydration tracking to track your water intake. It has women's health. It has built-in GPS and a variety of different GPS options. It's a Forerunner, so it can track running, of course. For example, trail running, ultra running, indoor running, and more. In addition to running, you could track a variety of other activities like walks, yoga, strength, HIIT, and more. The smartwatch also has suggested personalized daily workouts. And it's water resistant up to 5 ATM or 50 meters, so you can take it in the pool, in the rain, and the snow, and more. With the music version here, you can download hundreds of songs from Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer, as well as downloading your own MP3 files on here if you still got those kicking around. It does have Bluetooth connection as well as Wi-Fi, and with that Bluetooth connection, you can connect a variety of different Bluetooth devices like headphones, speed and cadence sensors, external heart rate monitors, and more. You can view and reply to text messages, view smartphone notifications, and answer and deny phone calls. And I've gone ahead and listed some more on screen for you. Now, these are not all of the features and specs about this smartwatch, but these are definitely the most important, I think. And if you guys are finding this video helpful so far, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like on me. And I do have a 7-inch wrist for reference. One great thing about the Forerunners here is that they have a multitude of holes, so they can fit a huge amount of wrist sizes. Now, wearing this for the last bit, I have found it to be lightweight. It's pretty comfortable to wear too. Another thing is I haven't had any skin irritation issues or discomfort or anything from the band or the watch, so that's fantastic for me because I definitely have in the past with some other smart watches. One thing for me is that I do find it too big. I really wish that they did come out with a smaller S version smartwatch for this, as they did with previous Forerunners in the past. So if you're someone who has an even smaller wrist than mine, you might also find it too big, or you might not. Your watch size is definitely a personal preference thing. Some of you might be like, that's not too big, that's perfect on you. But personally, I find it a bit big. One good thing about having a larger display here is that you do get larger text sizes and you could see more on your display compared to, smaller display smartwatches. All right, guys, so when it comes to the display on the smartwatch, we do have an AMOLED color display. So a couple of things about AMOLED displays are you get those bright, bold, punchy colors. They just look great, easy readability indoors, and very contrasting. With this smartwatch in particular, we do have a large font mode, which is nice, which can increase the font size a bit. So that's definitely helpful for those of you out there who don't have the best vision, because it does make it easier to read. Another thing about AMOLED displays is that they are quite reflective. So with that type of display, you are going to see reflections pretty easily if you're in bright lighting conditions indoors, and if you're outdoors in, natural lighting in the sun. I haven't put a screen protector on here just for the review so you guys can see how it looks. I would recommend sticking a screen protector on this if you're gonna buy this, because on the Forerunner 165 here, we have what Garmin calls chemically strengthened glass. Now, to me, what that translates to is cheap, easily scratchable glass. They usually put Gorilla Glass on most of their smartwatches, which is a lot stronger and definitely more scratch resistant. One good thing about the display here is that it's flat. It makes it possible for you to use tempered glass screen protectors. Now, tempered glass screen protectors are great. So I know a lot of people love their AMOLED displays because they look very similar to what you see on your smartphone. For me personally, I prefer the memory and pixel displays. While they're not as pretty, I prefer them because they have always on displays, easy readability outdoors and indoors at most situations. If you're using this smartwatch, the 165, which has an AMOLED display, and you're someone who likes to go on long outdoor runs, maybe hikes, stuff like that, this display is a lot harder to read than the memory and pixel displays. AMOLED displays are very reflective, and in order to read them well outside, you're gonna have to pump up the brightness a lot. And when you're doing that, you're draining your battery life a lot faster. And even with the brightness pumped up, you're still gonna get some glare. With the memory and pixel displays, I swear in my experience, there's like zero glare. You can read that in super bright sunlight under any angle. It's just super easy readability. So that's why I prefer the memory and pixel displays on Forerunners and on the Phoenix series made for people who really like to do outdoor activities like running and walking and biking because of the easy readability, and the display is always on. But if you're someone who's planning to use this majority indoors, gym use, stuff like that, you don't really have to worry about that because AMOLED displays are super easy to read inside. So the Forerunner 165 here does have a quoted battery life up to 11 days as a smartwatch. Now with my uses so far, things like GPS walks, runs, daily alarms, timers, and more, I've gotten on average 8 to 8.5 days of battery life. Now for me, that's pretty good because I only have to charge this every other week. I'm really happy with that. I love that Garmin gives us long battery life on many of their smartwatches. It's just something that other companies just can't really do. For most people, I think it's gonna last you a good amount of time. It really does depend on your individual usage though. I'm giving you my results, but if you're a heavier user than me or lighter user, you're probably gonna get different results because we all use our smartwatches differently. All right guys, so now I'm gonna talk about women's health. So for my men out there who don't wanna see this or anybody else, you can go ahead and use my timestamps and skip to the next section where I'm gonna be talking about sleep tracking. So with Garmin, they have two women's health options. There's one for tracking your pregnancy, and then there's one for tracking your menstrual health. So I have the women's health app right here, and you can see it tells you the day you are in your cycle. I can go on here and I can add some symptoms. So I can add my flow intensity, light, medium, or heavy, and I can go ahead and add the daily symptoms I'm feeling. So there's an abundance of symptoms that you can choose from. You could also choose your mood. A variety of options here, which I love. Track if you have any discharge. You can say if you're ovulating or not. You can track your sex drive, and more. Now I've listed the full list of Garmin's health options that you can toggle on and off. It is customizable, so if you don't want to track one of those things, you can turn them off and they won't even appear on the smartwatch here. And you can also get your period prediction on here. And in my experience, it's been very accurate. This is something that I personally really like. I use it every day just to track kind of how I'm feeling, my daily symptoms, as well as on my period, and I find it very helpful. The smartwatch does have advanced sleep tracking. So when you wake up in the morning, within like a few seconds to minutes, it will have your sleep data calculated and ready for you. There's no need to connect it to your smartphone for it to calculate all that like a bunch of other smartwatches. This smartwatch does everything inside internally. Another thing about this smartwatch that I didn't mention is that you can use this completely independent of a phone. Yes, you can set it up completely just using the smartwatch itself. You don't have to have it connected to a phone to use it. So I think that's a huge advantage as well. With the sleep tracking here, you can see my sleep score, which is 75. That's a value out of 100. You can see the hours of sleep I got, the sleep message, which says fair. Another message here that says shorter than ideal, but plenty of REM sleep. Now there's a little white thing up here. I can click that, and it's to get a bit more insight there. And it just gives you a bit more information. So if I swipe up, we can see a graph of all my sleep data from last night. And we can see when I fell asleep and when I woke up. And we can see it tracks deep sleep, REM sleep, light sleep, and time awake all in a graph. Even more of a breakdown here, specific minutes in each stage. data here, and you can kind of compare how your sleep was. It does have nap tracking, but guys, I'm not a napper, so I'm sorry, you're not going to see nap data from me. So I think the sleep data on the Forerunner 165 here is pretty good. Would I say it's great? No, but I think it's good. And if you're just looking for general metrics on like, how did I sleep last night? I think it's good at that. In my opinion, it gets the time I fell asleep and the time I woke up pretty good. It's just the sleep stages sometimes are a bit off. This smartwatch has Garmin's Elevate 4 heart rate sensor. Now, this is not Garmin's brand new heart rate sensor that was released in 2023. This is a version older than that. Despite it not being the brand new newest heart rate sensor, it's still really good. You get accurate heart rate data. So looking at the heart rate sensor here, it is a little bit elevated. So just going into the heart rate here, you can see your heart rate for like the last 4 hours. And for those of you wondering, yes, you can scroll back and forth to see your heart rate data. In addition to seeing your heart rate data on here, we do have our HRV status. I know many of my runners out there, and many of you love your HRV. You're always asking me if smartwatches have it. You can see if you're balanced or not. This is for my sleep last night, and it shows your 7-day average. And it shows your baseline. I think this smartwatch tracks my workouts really well. Sample of a workout on screen for you. So looking at the results there, it tracks my average heart rate during a workout, it tracks the high, the low, and I think it does so really well. You can track a variety of activities on here. A variety of different running, like, you know, runs, track runs, treadmill runs, biking indoors. Those are my last used ones that I've tracked. And then we have biking outdoors, pool swimming, walking, cardio, strength, and there's even more that you can track. So I'm just showing you guys all of them for those of you who wonder, what can it track? One of the downsides we're having with the lower price point here, this smartwatch does not track as much activities as other Forerunners that are more expensive do. You can track a variety of different daily metrics, see floors climbed. You can see heart rate variation, notifications, recovery time, weather. You can see your last run, last activity. Here I have my women's health data and a bunch more. Now these are all the ones that I have turned on right now, and you can add more if you'd like as well. And it just froze, so hey, that is a con. I was going to talk about cons a little bit later in the video, but I'll just get into some right now. This is a major con. I have experienced this 5 times, and it is so annoying to have my smartwatch randomly freeze on me. I have used over a dozen Garmin watches, and I've never had any of them freeze on me. And this one is done it 5 times in just a few weeks. As you guys can see, it's not detecting my swipes. The buttons are not doing anything here, moving up or down. It just froze. This is an AMOLED watch, so with the display on like this, it dies really fast if I didn't notice it. I have updated this to the latest firmware they have, and I don't know if this is something that they could fix with updates. But anyways, the one way I found to fix this is to just hold the light button, the top button here, for about 15 to 20 seconds. Another thing I want to mention is when it does freeze, it just like deletes the previous step data and all the information I had. It doesn't save it, so also a con. And now it's going to kind of restart itself. But yeah, I'm kind of happy that happened during the video because I was going to talk about that in the cons section, but having it actually happen during recording, it's, I guess, a good thing to show you guys like, hey, I'm not lying, this happens, in case you thought I was. But yeah, always fully transparent with you guys. Another con for me is the color options. Now, I don't love this contrasting berry with the lilac. It's just a lot for me. I wish that they would have just kept it all lilac or all berry throughout the band. Why do we have a silver buckle here and like a black bezel, and it just doesn't match? Another con for me is the heart rate sensor. Like I said, this heart rate sensor is not bad. It's still pretty good in 2024, but like, why are we getting Garmin's older heart rate sensor on a brand new 2024 smartwatch? I do not know. This is the second time Garmin's done this year. We had the Garmin Lily, which came out with the older heart rate sensor, and now we have the Forerunner 165. I mean, they have the new heart rate sensor available. Why not put it on your new smartwatches? So another con for me is the SpO2 data can be off a lot of the time, so it's not very reliable. Here you can see it does say 96%. It's been the same results on myself and on everyone else I've tested it on, people of different genders, different skin tones, different ages even, but the SpO2 result is just always super low. It's usually around like 93 to 96. It's not very high, and most people have SpO2s of 98 or above, so I definitely think it's off. So now I'm going to show you guys some watch faces on here. So this is the one that I have chosen. And one thing I did like about it is we do have some watch face options that kind of perfectly match the berry color here, which I think was a nice touch. I'm just gonna go through all the ones I have on here. And these are all the ones that come pre-installed with the watch, guys. I did not download any of these. So that's all of them. I'm just gonna show you guys some colors now. One thing I wanna say is they don't have great purples, and I'm a purple lover, so a little bit disappointed for me, but they do have a bunch of other great color options. And there's all the color options there. So whether or not you like those watch faces, up to you. If you don't like them, good thing is that you can go ahead and download more in the Garmin Connect IQ app. They have a variety of free and paid options there. All right, guys, so before I share my rating with you for the Forerunner 165, I wanted to give you two other smartwatch options to consider if you're considering this. And those options are 1, the Garmin Forerunner 255S, and 2, the Garmin Forerunner 265S. I think these smartwatches are a better buy than the 165. The build quality is a lot higher, more durable materials, as well as track a lot more activities and have more features and functions than the Forerunner 165. If you are looking for a great Forerunner and you want an AMOLED color display, I'd recommend the Garmin Forerunner 265S. If you are looking for a great Forerunner with a memory and pixel display, if you are someone who wants to be outside a lot and you want easy readability, then I would recommend the Garmin Forerunner 255S. Now, I've done full reviews on both these smartwatches on the channel, and you can find this coming up at the top right and also linked in the description below. And these smartwatches are a little bit older. And with that, we get the advantage of them going on sale quite frequently. Right now, as of recording, the 255S is on sale. It's basically the exact same price as the 165 regular price. The 265S is a great option. It is more expensive than the 165 here, but if you did want to grab that at a discount, I did share with you guys in a recent video how I get discounts on my Garmin smartwatches because I do buy everything myself. These videos are not sponsored. If you want to see how I do that, you can check out the video at the top right, also linked in the description. And you guys can see on screen, here's the regular price and here's the price with the discount applied. And all right, guys, considering the price, the quality, the color, the functionality, the performance, the battery life, and everything like that, I would go ahead and give this a 7.5 out of 10. And I do give it a thumbs up. So if you guys are looking to pick up the Garmin Forerunner 165 today, I've gone ahead and left a link down in the description for you to use. And if there's anything I missed that you'd like to know, just go ahead and drop a comment below. I do read all the comments, so I'll definitely get back to you. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.